Hi everyone, this is Bella from Unlock Your Design, and we are in a new transit. We're going to be in Gene Key 45 for the next 5 days. And I love to look at the transits, including the astrological part and also the human design perspective. So I'm going to share my screen with you and we'll see how it looks in space and what's alive. So here we have the astrological wheel. So we can see here that the sun is in the 45. Here we have the body graph. So we see that the 45 is in the throat, and the throat center right now is open. There is no activation with all the planets that is connecting the throat to any other center. So let's start here. We have Mercury in retrograde. You see the little R here, together with the sun in 45. And the 45 has to do with dominance. It has to do with tribal leadership. So kind of my people, my tribe, my family. And the programming partner that is also activated here on the other side in the north node has to do with indifference in the low frequency, has to do with not caring enough, with having inertia. So what we can see is that when the power is locked in by the old leadership, where there is a self-serving or like just my tribe, a self-serving agenda, where we are indifferent for the people that have nothing, for example, that's a place where poverty is going to continue to exist, and where the dominance is going to be with a few. And how the world looks today is that the money is the power, and that's for the few. And then there is this huge amount of people that have no money, that have no power, and that are dominated by the few. The higher frequencies of this gene key is synergy, and the higher frequency of the 16 is versatility. So in this code ring of prosperity, it is about coming together in a new way, finding new ways of doing things, being versatile, being adaptable, coming in with that intention of communion, of knowing that we are all one earth, and it belongs to all of us. So how can we divide the resources in a way that is fair and that makes sense? And I feel like, since we have Mercury here as well, and Mercury wants the truth, and it's going to use logic, it's going to use education, it's going to use traveling and speaking with people, having interactions in order to understand, in order to educate itself. So right now it's a seeking of truth, and it's a understanding of like the dominance, not just accepting it, taking it for granted. That's the way that the world is. But how can we be that truth seeker that comes in and say, no, I'm not completely happy with just accepting things the way they've always been, and the way the power and leadership has always been done. I really feel when we speak about leadership that we always have to bring in the 44 and the 46 gene key. The 44th gene key is about that. It's caring about the collective. It's caring about humanity. It's about coming together. It's not about hierarchies. It's not even about hierarchies, but it is to find a way of working together where everybody can do what they are good at. And together we're creating this beautiful kind of flower of life, the pattern that is in harmony, and that is where everybody is valued. And then the 46, it's about embodied leadership. So the way that in the 45, we see it comes from the throat center, the way that before leadership is enough to kind of just speak it out and dominate the people. The throne was given to you by your father. You didn't have to work for it. You have the throne, and you kind of just have to learn to do the speaking, right? And what I feel with the new leadership is that it has a much more like that 44 that comes in, that is really about true synergy, that it doesn't matter if you were born to be the king by blood. It's really the person who is most adept at being the leader that should be the leader. And maybe that we see it in Europe with many of the in the monarchies, that many of the children, they decide to move away to another country and have like a normal life, the princes and the princesses. So that's when we come into our own individuality. It's not just because we are born out of a monarchy that maybe we want to have that role. So feeling into our unique, individualized, differentiated, truth and individuality, what is the role for each one of us? And then, like I was saying, the 46 is about embodiment. So it comes in and says, leadership, the leadership of the future, the leadership is going to take us into the future, has to be a leadership that's embodied. It's about demonstrating leadership. It's about demonstrating, being a role model. It's not enough speaking it. We have the 46 that comes here from the G center, which is about direction. It's about, true identity. And the 29 on the other side is about devotion. So are you devoted as a leader? Are you walking your talk? Are you embodying leadership? Or is it just something that you learned that you think it's enough speaking? It's so that's the future leadership that I see, where we need the 45, we need to have the voice of leadership. We also need to have the 44, the organization of the synergy, where everybody's in the right place. And then the 46 that says yes to that experience, yes to demonstrating, to embodying leadership and being devoted to that, fully devoted in wholeheartedness, which is also, it's going to serve the whole. It's not just serving the tribe again. So that's what's very alive right now with the Mercury and the Sun here in the 45. I also was looking at the moon, who has been going through Taurus here in the day, and it was even passing by Uranus. And we are going to have this square between Saturn and Uranus, the new and the old. Before, Saturn was like the limit of the universe, right? When we had not discovered all the planets, Saturn was really far away, and it was like the ruler setting the limits, the structure. And then Uranus was discovered, and then we were like expanding the limit. And Uranus is coming with a new. Uranus is explosive in a way. It's not stable. And right now it is in Taurus, which is a sign that likes stability. So it's not like those two energies are not super happy together. And this year we're going to have 3 times that exact square with Saturn, where we have the tension between the old and the new. And it's now less than a week. On the 14th, we're going to have that exact square. And right in that placement where the square is going to be next week, the moon passed through that. And the moon is happy in Taurus because it has that, the nurturing, it has the beauty. Taurus is, ruled by Venus. So it's happy there. But at the same time, we had the tension of where the square is. So I'm wondering, that emotionally, and I was asking that on Facebook, I think it was yesterday, how important is emotional stability and emotional well-being to you? So how have you been feeling today? Can you feel that nurturing quality of the moon in Taurus, or have you more been feeling the tension of the old and the new, and what's very much in the collective right now? Has that been influencing you? And yeah, I think I'm going to probably just keep it quite short. I mean, this is a week, and that's what I want to close with. This is a week that is really powerful. We're going to have an eclipse in just 3 days. When we speak about an eclipse, it's very powerful energy. So 3 days before, 3 days after, starting already today, because we're on the 7th and the eclipse is going to be on the 10th. It's to be, eclipses is accentuating. So if something is in the air, if there's an earthquake that is going to happen, often it's in the energy of the eclipse, the earth and the moon, that are in those special specific positions. So I would say sit a little bit still in the boat, more about awareness than about action or making decisions. Now the 3 days before, and then the 3 days after. And also right after that, we are going to have that square between the old and the new, that tension. So look in your life, what is it of the old that is ready, to let go of? And what are the limiting beliefs that might keep you there? And then what is the new that you are ready to invite in, that you're ready to, use in Taurus, where we have Uranus, to create your new foundation. So thank you so much for listening, and see you soon.